Welcome back to another episode of TruthSeekerZ. I'm Austin, your host. This is Michael, our producer. It's Brandon, our technician. And this is Matt, our other member. He has never been here before. This is his first one. So today, this is episode 3. We're going to be talking about the aliens. And pretty much today is the one that we're going to have our special guest. His name's Joe. And he's going to tell us his story. And then we'll ask him some questions about it. And then we'll get on with the video. All right. So we got our guest right here. Hello, Joe. Okay, so this is Joe. He was in the military. He was stationed in Germany, and he's our special guest today. And he's going to tell us his story. So Joe, just tell us what happened.
Yeah, okay. How you doing, everybody? All right, let's see. 1979, stationed in Finn Army Airfield. And had guard duty that one night. Me, Sergeant Rivera, Roy Rivera, and I now recall the names of the other two guys I was with, but we were just posting guard duty around the airfield, and we were doing 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 4 off, basically driving jeep around the air. But anyway, on my break, I was hanging out in the barracks, so you could run
especially that big and hovering in one spot for that long.
And quiet as hell.
Yeah, and it was quiet as hell. Yeah.
Now, were there any lights that this?
Around the perimeter of it, there were multicolored lights, and like I said, it just stood there and hovered, and basically, before I forget, we weren't the only guys that spotted UFOs. There were a bunch of other guys that we talked to that said they'd seen stuff also, and it was always basically during guard duty and things like that they would have seen some weird stuff, and they basically all see the same thing. So, yeah, it wasn't just seen by us four guys. It was seen by a lot of guys at that base at that time. So it was something that was well known. I mean, for the CEO to come out and make that speech in the morning, just goes to show that there was something that everybody was seeing, that they were talking to people about.
Definitely. Were all the sightings that you saw at nighttime mostly? I mean, that the people on your base saw were at night?
Early in the morning.
Early in the morning is when you saw it?
Early in the morning also. You know, at the crack of dawn, they were spotted.
Early at
5:30.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah.
That's wow. That's crazy. So how many people were stationed on your base? How many people were stationed on your base?
You there?
Yeah. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'll switch over the card up. Yeah, that was a pretty unique situation. That was something that you'll never forget.
Yeah, definitely. How many people were stationed on your base? Yeah, we're having technical difficulties.
What was that? How many what?
How many soldiers were stationed on your base?
Oh, geez, quite a few hundred.
Quite a few hundred.
It was the 8th Infantry Division. We were an attack helicopter outfit. We were an anti-tank unit. I think we had about 120 Cobras. We were strictly, like I said, anti-armor. So, and during the heights, we were, you know, I mean, don't forget, this was the Cold War. We were strictly there to fight Soviet armor, and Cobras at the time was the killing machine for Soviet T-62, 72. You know, we were a pretty badass unit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds very cool.
Yeah, always like that.
So other than the speech that the guy gave you in the morning, nobody ever came up to you that was higher up and said, you know, you can't say anything about what you saw or you can't talk about it or anything like that?
No, just the command. He was a major. He was our commanding CO. He just made that speech like, you know, he kind of blew it off as sort of like a joke. Like,
Yeah, like nothing.
You know, I don't want to hear you guys coming in my office telling me you spotted UFOs. I don't have time for this type of nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
And basically, he did it. And I'm sure that he was told that. You know, I'm sure the higher ups were very well aware of what was being spotted and seen, and they were just told to hush it, keep it quiet, and don't let it get carried away.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you're a young GI and you're a Ep.3, which is a private, let me tell you something. The last thing you want to do is have your CEO come down hard on you when you're in Europe. But, you know, you like to have your time to go out and have a good time.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joe, for telling us your story.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get a hold of you again for another video, but for now, thank you.
You got it. You take care, guys.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
All right, that was very interesting.
Yes, it was.
Very interesting.
So it's like a cylindrical rectangle
Yeah, he said
with
it,
lights.
He said it
That's
was like,
very odd.
and that's
what I'm seeing out of it. It's kind of like this, and there's lights kind of coming out.
And there were
here.
like multicolored lights, he said, right?
and that's crazy. Like the most painted picture of what a UFO is, that you see it's a little circle, right? And he said it was the size of like a 747. That's a big.
That's
plane.
a big plane.
And it was a rectangular shape, not like the average, circle shape that they usually talk about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah. That is undeniable evidence, at least.
No, but yeah, crazy. Shit like this happens, and then just like you said, his commander of the base came down.
What I wonder
CEO said.
about that your CO or your commanding officer said that. I wonder if the reason why he said that is because it didn't want to distract the rest of the troops and ruin the morale.
Well, and he didn't want to get it out.
Yeah.
They definitely knew what the hell was going on.
Oh yeah.
They just can't, people found out about it, that'd be crazy.
That'd be cool to talk to, because they're living on a military base, so there's got to be probably an airstrip. Wonder what the ATC guys thought about it.
Yeah. They probably didn't see it on the radar.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even see it. No, but yeah, that's crazy. What do you say if he was in the 8th Infantry Unit Division? 120 Cobra tanks. That's crazy.
Cobra attack
Oh,
helicopters.
yeah, my bad. That's what I
It
meant.
was 120 attack helicopters. It was, what was it, 120 tanks or something like that?
They had like
Their division, their unit was basically to go out and, just from what he's telling us,
fight Soviet armies,
just
seems like.
to go out and destroy armored vehicles. So tanks, T-70, T-62s, T-72s, and
That's a
stuff
little off
like that.
topic, but
Yeah.
let's bring it back. It was very cool. But
Yeah.
let's bring it back. All right, but he said it was very interesting. He said that the UFOs, they could be watching us, because they always happen. Most of them happen at like military bases and where all these things are. Maybe the UFOs are watching us to make sure that we're not going to kill ourselves, like he said. Like he said, it was during the Cold War. Temperatures were high. Nukes were being built like crazy. Right?
Yeah, that's when the Cold War is when the nuclear arm race started.
Yeah, and that's when the most sightings of UFOs were. So maybe they're coming here to make
No,
sure.
that's the most sighting of UFOs was in that area.
Well, during that time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or they could be, like checking out how our like military is because we're getting more and more powerful. Maybe like we are slowly getting like to their level of weaponry and stuff like that.
I don't know if we're that close, but the
But-
nukes.
Oh,
No, I could see that.
I can see
how
where you're
they're just hovering, just checking shit
Yeah.
out.
Just making
They're
sure,
at what 5:30, 4 in the morning, crack of dawn. People are barely starting to wake up. And they're just trying to check things out and see what we're doing, what we're building, and what type of
we
capabilities.
could be
we
a
have.
threat to them in the future too.
Exactly.
Yeah, or maybe they're just here to make sure that we don't blow each other to blow
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Make sure that they don't need to be an intervention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they did intervene. That's
Yeah.
why maybe there wasn't a
Maybe.
nuclear war.
Maybe.
Yeah,
You
it could
never
happen.
know.
It's possible.
You never know.
Now,
Tensions were high.
now moving off that.
Yeah, that was very cool. Thank you, Joe, for that. We are definitely gonna have him back on and talk to us. He's gonna start a gun channel he was talking about and do like some shooting and stuff. So we're gonna have him talking about our Second Amendment. We're gonna have him on probably in episode 6 or 7, talking about our Second Amendment and the Constitution. Just guns in general. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, we're gonna move on.
Or
to
that could just be a separate thing.
Yeah. All right. So what do you want to move on to, Matt?
Let's move on to Area 51.
I thought we were talking about the pyramids. But all right. We'll get to that later.
We'll talk about the pyramids later, but Area 51. What do y'all think about Area 51? One of the most mysterious places on Earth.
One of the most highly restricted areas.
Yeah, highly restricted, very mysterious. A lot of flying objects.
Yep.
A lot of triangle-shaped objects flying over the sky. But
Definitely could be. We don't know. We could have aliens there right now, working with our scientists. That's how. Like, how do we have these amazing advancements in technology?
Yeah.
Through the
So
years?
Especially
So quick. Yeah.
especially let's just go from
It took off. It took off.
let's just from advancement in technology. Let's just go on from World War II. So 1914 or no? Whoa, not
1940s.
No,
World War I.
no. World War I was
39,
World War I
1914.
was 1914.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's just go from 1914 all the way up until, let's just say, the end of
Today.
World War
Let's
II
just do,
or World War II.
Okay.
That jump in technology, the what is it? I'm gonna brain fart. Help me out.
We get what you're going to though.
The advancement in technology for
just those couple
armor
decades and
in
stuff.
Yeah.
general. It's crazy.
Now people will say, military drives, technology advancement. It does. I do believe that, but also, but during this military, we could have help from aliens. It is possible. Our jets nowadays are absolutely crazy.
Yeah, stealth bomber.
We have stealth bombers nowadays. We have the F-35. We have all of it. The Harriet, when it first came out, the Harrier, that thing was insane.
The first vertical takeoff plane.
Yeah, that's insane. How did we go from propeller, Spitfires and stuff like that? That was the British, but you know what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
From that to what we are at now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The iPhone, this thing has so much.
It's a computer.
This thing is more technology they had back in the 40s. In my hand right here, the entire government had, it's crazy.
What's interesting, speaking about that, just in the early 2000s, like we went from the QWERTY keyboards to this within what, 5 years?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
Yeah,
the
MacBook
80s
Pro.
and 80s, early 90s.
Exactly.
You have the fucking brick, and then now you turn around and you have something.
I
like
know. And it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
this.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Area 51 could be. We have no idea. They will not even let you get close to that place.
Yeah,
They
have
house
their
our
armed guards. And
They house our most secretive new aircraft, new weaponry. And that's just on the surface. What's below Area 51?
Exactly.
Exactly, because there's multiple layers there.
Yeah. What happens behind the curtains? Behind those curtains.
Exactly.
If if the aliens are here, if they are in communication with us, and let's say we are working with them, this would definitely be where it is.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. Yeah, but and if they're not working with us, and we've just found them, like the Roswell crash, I know you're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
We bring them there, and then that's where we, that's what they say. That that's what everybody believes. That's where we hold them. That's where we do experiments on them. It's just crazy.
And I'm also surprised we've had all these sightings throughout the years, and that one time we sent up this wafer to say, "Hello, this is the world." How come we haven't gotten anything back?
Exactly.
Maybe they don't want us to know that they're there. They could be right there, hovering around Earth right now, right around this International Space Station.
Yeah, and there's even been sites on the International Space Stations of just
Dark
so-called UFOs just
I've
going off into space.
I've seen videos of like
Yeah.
like an astronaut, like a GoPro or something.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
just floating around
Yeah, but-
repairing something on the International Space Station, and then
I'm
out of
not-
the corner of the camera, you just see this white blob or blur just go off into the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate
Space.
real quick though. That could be fake.
yeah, exactly.
It could
Okay,
be fake. Yeah,
Hollywood nowadays is absolutely amazing. You've seen Transformers?
Yeah.
That shit looks real as hell.
Yeah.
It does.
Scary
it does.
movies, that stuff looks so real. It's
Yeah.
crazy what they can do nowadays. So you cannot trust really anything.
Or it could have just been like a rock just flying through
Yeah, it
space.
could be just-
you know?
yeah,
It
exactly.
could be, but
Yeah. But
there's so
you never
many
know.
things
Yeah,
it could
exactly.
be.
Exactly.
It could all. That's why we're here. Try and get to the truth of
Yeah.
these things. But let's go to the pyramids, Matt. I know you wanted to talk about the pyramids. That's one of your favorite subjects. So
Okay, so you have, let's just say what they're 5 or 10 ton blocks of sandstone. These guys, yeah, the Egyptians were pretty switched on about that, but how did they know, or how did they know how to make a crane that would lift a 10-ton block or a 5-ton block
Yeah.
up
Yeah. You need a lot.
and around?
You need a lot of manpower even for
Well,
a
they
pulley
had
system.
they had unlimited manpower, but it's just
still, yeah. And how did they get it
And
perfectly symmetrical?
How did they get it
Yeah.
perfectly symmetrical?
Yeah.
And also still be able to build tunnels and all these
Yeah.
tombs
Within.
the pyramids after it's all been built. How come it hasn't collapsed on them?
well, that's definitely one of the big arguments. Did aliens help them build the pyramids? A lot of people say it's impossible. They couldn't have done that, but like I keep going back to the slaves part of it. If you had hundreds of thousands of slaves, that worked on these pyramids every freaking day. I'm pretty sure you'd be able to get it done.
No, I can see
Yeah.
that, but
I'm pretty, and they had technology like the crane, and they had certain things that would be. They had those big animals, elephants would help it move the stuff, So we definitely could have done it. Humans are amazing, but
if you have a 5-ton block sandstone, how could an elephant just easily move that?
no, they put it on rolling.
Or I understand they had logs on it.
And they would have like multiple
How
elements.
did they know that using a rope that was hooked up to an elephant would work?
Well, Matt, they're not stupid.
Yeah,
They built things before the pyramids.
I understand that.
But-
You
but
had castles that were being
I
built.
understand that,
walls.
but
one of the most intricate things that I agree with Matt on, how it was how did they
also
was
another
probably the
thing
pulley
is-
system.
another thing
The pulley.
is
system.
The pulley system they developed.
another thing is
Yeah, they had that for ships. They had pulleys on ships before before the pyramid. They had them on ships. They had pulley systems on the ships before the pyramids were even built.
But what was I gonna say? Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, we'll come back. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Maybe they did give us the tech. You got it.
I got it.
All right, come back. Go ahead.
All right. How did they know what mercury was,
What do you mean?
and how did they get it, or how did they find these big pools of mercury? Because there were mercury traps, were there not?
Okay.
How did they use those traps, and how did they use mercury?
What do you mean? How did they use mercury?
Well,
How did they set it up? How
yeah.
did they use traps to set up the mercury, and how did they know it was mercury?
Well,
And where are you gonna find mercury?
let's say us four walking down the trail, right? There's a bunch of mercury right there, right? Somebody touches it, they die. Now I know that's poisonous. We learn these things over time. Humans are not dumb.
No, I understand that, but it's how did they know?
Yeah. With that
It's mercury. Let's use this for a trap. Yes, okay, we know that it's poisonous because of multiple people handled it. They died.
But Matt, it wasn't something that just happened. It was a gradual.
Yeah, it was a
thing
gradual
that
thing,
happened that happened, over hundreds
The
of years.
pyramids took a very long time to be built.
Yeah. Exactly.
How long did it take them to I don't really know the exact.
No, maybe.
It was a while.
It was a long time. But again, this doesn't just happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. But yeah, and then what'd you say? How did they not collapse on each other? Right, that was another thing. But they're not completely hollow though.
They have tunnels. Yeah, I know they're
Oh yeah,
not
they have
completely
tunnels.
hollow, but it's sandstone. And sandstone's kind of weak.
Well, not all of it's sandstone.
Most of it was.
Well, most of it, yeah. But I'm pretty sure, after a couple hundred years, if it could collapse. Yes, I understand. I understand that, and it is deteriorating. It is getting worse, but the whole thing is not hollow. If it was hollow, I would understand. Yes.
Oh yeah, exactly. I know they stacked just blocks of sandstone to make a pyramid. Yes, but when you built the tunnels for the tombs, out of videos that I've seen or just pictures of the entrances to these tombs, how come they didn't collapse? Because they had no support.
Mm-hmm. So it's they did a lot of planning, probably a lot of trials, a lot of
And they were smart too.
No,
Yeah,
the
the
Egyptians were really smart.
the
But
Egyptians were very smart. Yeah.
I think the Egyptians were probably. I think the Egyptians were some of the smart, switched on individuals.
Yep, Egyptians, the Romans,
And I think
Persians.
I think the
Greeks.
Egyptians were probably one of the first to discover life out there.
Ooh.
To have aliens.
So you think?
Communicate with
Oh,
aliens. That's
So you
it.
think they were the first society to actually be able to
in contact. with
contact?
Yeah.
you?
Okay,
So,
okay.
okay. That makes sense.
All right. Okay, what's another one we had on here? Dark Side of the Moon, Mike. I know you wanted to talk about
Dark
that.
side of the moon.
Let's go. What'd
So
you
basically,
what'd you find out about?
there's a dark side of the moon, which is also called the far side, and that's the side of the moon that's pointing away from the Earth. And humans have not been able to actually see it until we developed ships and satellites to take pictures or take people there, like astronauts and like.
I don't think there's ever been an astronaut at the dark side of the moon. Has there?
No.
I don't think we've never
seen it,
take.
though.
You never take. You never take pictures.
I think the reason. I think the
You
reason
sure?
why.
We have taken pictures of.
You can talk
the
about
first time.
how the Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and the other guy in their conversation with NASA
Oh,
when
they
they
saw
saw
ships
that.
parked
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
That's what I don't know about that.
I think
I watched the video of Buzz Aldrin talking about that. He was.
Well, it
sitting
makes
there-
you wonder,
No, he was sitting there. He was talking. He was like, yeah, we got out of the ship. I was walking down the ship, and I looked over, and I saw 3 or 4 ships parked there, sitting there. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure, buddy.
Yeah,
They're just sitting there watching.
I mean,
They're
there's
just
like,
chilling there.
Like-
they're even. I mean, to those skepticals out there, yeah, you could believe that the moon landing was false, but
Well, no, the conspiracy about the far side of the moon is really that that there are aliens there.
is there aliens living on that? And
Yeah.
how come we haven't gone that mile to
and
explore it?
And
Why-
they
why-
told us to not go back. Apparently.
Yeah, why? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Why do you
exactly.
think? Why have we only been to the moon?
Yeah.
One time,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
if we've been to the moon.
Well, we haven't been just one time. We've
We've
been on.
been on the moon multiple times.
But-
I'm saying.
But
we
after-
went one time, we did the whole ceremonial thing, and then that was pretty much it.
But once Apollo 17 ended,
Yeah.
then we
Yeah,
just stopped.
then that
was
yeah,
it.
exactly.
How many people do we have on the moon? How many
we've
astronauts
had
are there?
3 or 4 astronauts.
3 or 4 astronauts, and then after that, there was no other people on the moon.
Well, then there was obviously the Russians, and I don't know if did the Chinese.
The
make it?
Chinese, I think, went.
I don't think they've been to the moon.
Did they? I don't
I
know.
don't know. But
I feel like they did.
I don't know why do we not go there anymore? Why do we not do these things? Why did Obama shut down NASA?
Yeah, why did Obama?
Why did Obama? shut
Why
down?
did Obama?
I'm
shut
not
down
a big
NASA?
fan of Obama. I will say that right now. But
I mean, but that's for a later date. We're not
Yeah.
getting into
Yeah.
politics.
Politics, I know.
This isn't what our channel is meant to be about.
so I will just say it's nothing political of why did he shut it down. It's just we're talking about why did he shut it down.
Yeah.
Why? Maybe he was sworn into office and he heard something. They told him something that he did not like about the moon. He did not want us to go back, or he did not want it to continue exploration of the moon.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think they're definitely hiding something when they closed down NASA.
Yes.
And now that all the private sectors are getting
Yeah,
into
Tesla.
it,
Yeah, like
Tesla.
We need
SpaceX.
Tesla.
It's
Not
SpaceX.
SpaceX.
Tesla doesn't
My
go to the
bad.
moon,
My
Brandon.
bad.
Well, actually,
God,
they did send.
they sent up a car.
roadster.
The car,
They-
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's
With
fine.
a space dude
SpaceX.
just floating around in it.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is my dog.
Elon Musk, my dog.
My man's pretty fucking switched on.
I got his phone number right here. I talk to
Oh,
him almost,
sure,
almost every day.
sure.
Almost every day. But seriously, it's crazy. What is on the dark side of the moon? We don't know. There could be.
That's the thing.
Or is the moon hollow?
Oh yeah, that theory where like
If
it's
you
a
saw-
base.
you saw- yeah.
There's like
It's
a
a
base.
moon base for the aliens.
Yes. Yeah.
But that I don't know about.
Oh,
That. Why would the
yeah.
aliens?
What?
Why would the
Yeah.
aliens let us land on
Yeah.
their little
Yeah,
base?
that's kind
What
of.
if
far-fetched.
the moon is hollow and like on the dark side?
What if the Earth's hollow? Don't even get me started with that.
No.
That's for a later
Now
episode.
that
That's for
now,
Yeah,
now Austin.
that's for a letter. Yeah, that's for a later episode, and that's probably my favorite topic.
Yeah.
The center. I mean, if the Earth is hollow and lizard people, it's probably my favorite topic.
Yes.
That one is going to be a very long video. Just to let
And
you know.
that runs
That's
in
gonna
with
be
also
like a
FEMA.
little while down the road.
But yeah, I think the U.S. government or the Russian government,
Not just
the
the US government,
Chinese
the
government.
entire world.
The Russians.
Let's just say
China-
the main countries that did go to the moon. What did they see?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And what are they hiding?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how come we haven't gone to the dark side of the moon?
Yeah.
Now, is it because of how cold? Is it cold on that side?
Yeah, but you're telling me that we can build a ship that can go through our atmosphere at those high temperatures, but we cannot withstand some cold? Come on.
Well, because we will have suits.
You can't bring a ship over there with some lights?
You could, yeah.
I mean, come on.
You
Like,
could.
they can't do that?
Yeah, but then you're looking into let's just say people do want to do that. Then you have to look into the whole weight aspect.
What are you talking about?
Well, how much weight can we use to build a research vessel?
Well, yeah,
Let's just say.
but we could land it.
Yeah, but we
We
have
could
we have
technically speaking,
we have a
do.
rover on Mars right now. You cannot put a rover on the moon and let it go the entire thing of the dark side of the moon. Like, come on. We had a rover on Mars for years.
I think we have a couple rovers on the moon now.
I don't know.
And we have one or two. Yeah, one.
Yeah.
It's never went to the dark side of the moon.
Didn't
Yeah.
the rover on Mars just
It just died.
shut
Yeah.
down?
No. But they've had a couple where now this is going on to aliens and Mars and stuff like that. We've had a rover that shut down for a winter or shut down for some reason because of low battery, and then magically, and even the solar panels couldn't do anything. Magically, the dust is cleaned off, and the rover is working again.
I saw that. I know what you're talking about. Maybe
Tell
a
me
UFO.
that.
Maybe an alien ship flew over it, blew all the dust off of it. Boom.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Maybe the aliens saw it on Mars, and they went to go inspect it, and it blew all the dust off that was there, and now it's allowed to work again.
I do know one thing though, that there was definitely classified information about
Oh,
No shit.
about the moon landings, and like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
There's classified stuff about everything.
Mm-hmm. How humans think.
Everything.
The government probably knows about how humans think.
Elf.
Elf?
Elf. It's just like HARP. You never heard of a HARP?
No.
Okay, well, Elf is like a mind control radio waves. And
Oh, it's like getting into chemtrails and shit like that.
Chemtrails is a little different, but Elf is
No, but chemtrails is
Elf is like the new 5G towers.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that's a whole nother.
I don't
That's a
think
different
you
video.
can. I don't think you can use radio waves or whatever type of waves to what's it called, to mentally affect a person in how they think.
I'm telling you right now, somebody that was in World War II never thought that there'd be an F-35.
Exactly.
But there is. There are things that we have no idea could be possible.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
Mike, you're out of the podcast. All
I
right.
gotta go.
All right, see you, buddy.
Later, man.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, carry on, Doc. All right. But yeah, as I was saying, there are things that we never thought would be around today, but there are.
Exactly.
Somebody back then never thought there would be this.
Yeah.
Never thought it. Okay.
Now,
There could be.
what I also want to talk about is time travel.
Well, no.
No, that's a different.
Is this going to be another episode, or?
That is not connected with aliens right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you what we can talk about.
But speaking of which,
These are physical aliens we're talking about.
yeah.
Right. We're talking about physical aliens
Yeah.
here.
And
There's aliens that we can see, touch, and that are in our dimension.
To touch back on like what you said about the guy in World War II never thought there'd be
F-35.
Yeah, F-35. We're only in the beginning of the 2000s.
Exactly. We're we just
yeah.
entered the 21st century.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't know by 2060 or 2070, what could happen.
We are 18 years old.
Yeah.
By the time we're 50, there could be flying cars for every human
Exactly.
being. There could be private spacecrafts that we could be in space traveling to the moon, and you never know.
There could be flying cars in like 2030.
Or in 20 years, we could all be dead. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know
Or,
what the future holds.
The flying taxi.
15, 20 years, we could have a fucking invasion of robots, of AI.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know that, but the Rolls-Royce flying taxi they're trying to make. Have you heard about that?
No.
No, they're trying to make that. And this is already like I said, we're not even scratched the surface of the 21st century.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. We're just now.
Yeah.
We're in 2019.
Yeah.
It's nothing. We're only 19 years into it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
And look at all the stuff that's happened so far.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
remember-
starting and training of trying to colonize Mars.
I remember in the 2000s, like 2005, 2006, we still had the freaking flip phone.
Yeah.
We still had those.
It's 2019.
Nokias.
What are we on now? The 10, the 10X of
Yeah, we're on the 10X.
That's insane. So that's exactly what we're saying. You know, we don't know what could happen in the future.
Yeah.
But all right. So yeah, we're talking. Those are physical aliens. You know. So now I want to talk about interdimensional aliens. You know, we don't know if aliens are real. Okay, it's all a big conspiracy. Now, that's one of the conspiracies. Now, what if those type of aliens aren't real? What if there's such things as interdimensional beings, right? Now, there is a study out there that a scientist did that has proven there are dimensions. There are different, like, I don't want to say realms, but like different energy dimensions.
I would call it realms.
Okay,
Energy.
about,
Let's
like,
just say energy
Different-
realms that you reach
Yeah.
at a certain point.
You
Are
can
you
look,
talking about, like-
this up. You can look it up. There's a whole video on it. There are different dimensions. I believe there's 7.
Are you talking about like a timeline and like different skews? Of
No, there
No,
are
we're talking
different
about
dimensions.
Okay.
Like
Like a whole different.
it said, yeah. It said.
Like
It says.
a mirror ball.
It says in the Bible that God gave us a veil. Right? We have a veil that covers our eyes. Well, not our minds to
Yeah.
not see, you know, evil spirits or stuff like that. Right? We
Yeah.
can only see it if they come to us or whatever. You know. Now, when you lift the veil, you know, when people do, you know, drugs like DMT or, you know, what's it called? What's it called? What are those drugs called?
Shrooms.
No, what are they called?
Psychological
Yeah,
drugs.
yeah.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, psychedelics.
Psychedelics.
When people take these drugs, you know, people believe it lifts the veil.
Yeah.
It makes your brain.
And I've talked to a couple people who've done acid, who've done shrooms. They said it opens your mind.
Yeah. It lifts the veil for you to see things. And I watched Joe Rogan and Alex Jones talk about this on their show. I watched their entire 4.5-hour show. I would definitely recommend go watching the video. But in this video, Alex Jones talked about how there are 7 different dimensions, and human beings are far up on the dimension. We're in like the 4th or 5th dimension because we have free will and our minds are just way.
I want to
advanced.
see what's on the 8th dimension.
Yeah. Anyways, but we are us as humans because of our free will that God. I don't know what you guys believe in, but I am a Christian, and whatever you guys call God, there is a God. You know, if there is a God, that God gave us this free will, and this is why we're so high up in the dimension. And there are other things below us in the dimension, and there are other things higher in the dimension. And the higher ups, the elites, you know, the world leaders, they believe that to get to the next level of dimensions, that we have to, you know, get past, you know, sacrifice the main people for the greater good of them. They believe that they need to get to the higher point, and they're going to use.
They
us to
believe
grow.
basically, yes, I'm going to use strong language for this, but in Leighton's term, fuck everybody else. Let's just rise to the top because we're higher officials in the count.
And another thing that was very interesting that he said that there have been studies that when people take DMT, right, they all see the same thing, right? There's 20 people, let's say, that take DMT. They're all seeing the same thing. What I've heard from people that take drugs, you know, when you let's say you smoke weed, and like 10 people smoke weed, you don't see the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see different things.
Yeah.
You don't
It
really,
all affects you differently.
whoa. The thing is with weed, it's not psychedelic.
Well, let's just say
It's one of those things where it's kind of like Advil or Aleve.
Well, let's just say, okay, let's get away from that. But let's just say everybody's brain is so much different than the other.
Oh, 100%.
Now, there's no
Why
way.
different?
There's no way that 20 random people all take the exact same drug and see the same thing.
Yeah.
There's no way. Now, what he said was, when you take the DMT, what I said, you lift the veil off your face, so you can see everything. And what's interesting was he said that what they see is like an alien or small little aliens, and they talk to them. They like, this is how maybe we get our technology and stuff like that. They give us power, or they give us influence on wars or world government.
They give us
stuff like
feedback
that.
of what to do.
So what he said was, when you lift this veil, only the bad spirits, or whatever you want to call them, entities want to get through and come to our dimension. Okay, the good spirits don't want to leave their world with, like, let's say God or the eighth. Let's say they're in the highest dimension. Why would they want to leave and come back down?
Yeah.
The good ones want to stay where they are at.
Bad
The bad ones want to leave and they want to come down because they're not with God or with, you know, the Almighty or whatever. So they come through and they disguise themselves as good. Like when people say, you know, they see their parents or their grandparents, it's very emotional for somebody and they believe it. They're like, oh, there's, you know, and they listen to it, but it's probably evil. You know,
but that's talking about that type of stuff. It's also going into the aspect of using Ouija boards and the tarot cards and stuff like that.
Ouija
because
boards,
I've watched videos on paranormal stuff,
Yeah.
and
what
priests and, let's just say, witches, they say that these demons or evil spirits disguise themselves as good.
Yeah, and what's
that's
interesting
what I'm
is
saying.
when you invite them, let's just say,
Yeah, there you go.
you invite them
And
in.
you're
Yeah,
inviting them in.
Yeah, when you invite them in, all right, and they already know. Like it's almost like they already know because if you say like, oh, is like, let's say, is this your mom trying to communicate with him? So they'll do it and they'll say yes, and then you'll ask them questions, and it's like they know the correct answer,
Yeah.
but they're not really that.
Yep.
They're really a bad spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's a bad, like, that's not good to do that. It's not good to invite.
It's not the
Yeah.
best thing.
Yeah,
to
it's,
do.
yeah, it's not safe to invite spirit.
It's
It's not good to
the
conjure.
the
It's not good to
consequences. Let's just say, I've never done it. I've never done
No.
any conjuring of any devil or
No.
spirit, and I never will.
Entities, you know.
But let's just say you do that. You are physically opening a portal into
Yes.
your own home, and just saying, demons come into my house and make my life
Or anything.
miserable.
Or anything in general.
Yeah, because you don't want to just say demons because, you know,
Yeah.
maybe some people aren't religious, but
Yeah.
demons, whatever you want to call
Entities.
them. Yeah, entities, whatever it is, you know.
Bad karma, bad luck.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Things happen, and then it's very scary. You know, another thing that we can talk about is sleep paralysis.
Yes.
Yes, I've had that
Yes.
before.
People believe, you know, when you're stuck in sleep paralysis and you just can't move, it's like aliens, interdimensional or physical or whatever you want to call it, are tapping into your
Yes.
brain.
And I can't.
And they're trying to communicate with you, and your brain cannot handle it. So your brain cannot control your body because your brain is trying to use all its power just to communicate with them.
Yeah.
Or
I can see that.
Oh,
right?
I've had.
Because your brain cannot handle your body movement and functions and be able to talk to
Yeah.
these beings. So
I-
that's why you're stuck.
I think it's because, let's just say, aliens or whatnot, they are trying to mentally contact you. It's our brains aren't fully developed
Yeah.
or
We don't use.
or evolved enough to try to
Yeah.
compensate for what they're trying to tell us.
Just put it this way: we don't even use 50%.
We don't. Yes, I know.
Not
We
even
use
a
10.
quarter.
We use,
Not,
I think
yeah.
we use like 15% of our
Not
brain.
even
Not
a quarter.
even. I don't even think it's 15%.
No, I think.
I think it's. I'll look it up, but
But we just think about that. It's so crazy. We don't even use 1/4% of our brain. So imagine if you know later on down the line we eventually are able
Evolve.
to do that. Yeah, evolve and be able to do that.
Or
then
use technology to our advantage.
it says the most intelligent people can only use 10% of their brain power.
10%.
So that's probably
most of us.
the rest of us
and
is
that's
probably
like
five.
Most of us
Stephen
are
Hawking.
probably 5 or 6. Yeah,
that's
5,
like
6%.
Stephen Hawking and stuff.
Yeah,
That
Stephen
is
Hawking.
that's
Albert Einstein.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
At our percentage, the smartest people in our world are using 10%.
Yeah.
Just imagine what would happen if it went up.
Yeah.
We already have supersonic airplanes. We have cars, you know, solar powered. Tesla. That's an amazing.
We have
advancement.
planes that can cruise
Hover,
at the speed of sound and
Spacecraft.
go up to 55,000 feet at
Yeah.
the edge of the atmosphere.
We have spacecraft.
and just take pictures.
We have space stations. And we have these. We have all this stuff.
We have drones that'll launch missiles.
Just imagine if our society in the next 50, 100 years unlocked more and more percentage of their brain.
It'd be
Well,
like
it can either be good and it can either be bad. The good thing is, it's a wake up call for the world.
and
Bad thing is, we could use technology and it could be used against us.
And
Yeah.
touching up on sleep paralysis, it's not only that you can
Brandon.
you can't move in all.
Tell us about your experience with
Yeah.
sleep paralysis.
I've had it. I've
So, yeah,
I've
and
had
it's
it too.
scary.
Have you ever
Because
had it, man?
No,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you about mine.
it's still
I have lucid dreams.
yeah the most common thing. What is it? That you see delusions, you see
No.
things, hallucinations.
No,
But that's what I read on it.
when
but-
when I had it,
I was seeing things when
I didn't see it.
What'd you
yet.
see?
I like saw it. It was almost like it was very opaque and it was all black and it was like standing at like the edge of the hallway and I just like looked at it and I just couldn't I couldn't
Did you
do
Did you
anything.
look away?
no
Were
like
you
my
Were you
my
scared?
focus was locked on it like
Were you
I could
scared?
not
Like you
move.
couldn't look.
Yes.
You couldn't look away. You
No, I
couldn't do
could not.
anything.
No, I could
Were you
not.
scared?
Yes, I was.
What did you believe it was?
I don't know.
Was it
I don't
so?
know.
Do you
It was more like a human
human like?
It did look like a human?
yeah, humanoid, yeah.
Oh, another thing.
Yeah.
The Men in Black. The Men in not actually
Yeah.
not like the movie, but have
Yeah.
you heard about?
We'll
those-
get to that. We'll get to that. All right. Let me talk about.
But
mine.
it is very
It is very. I will.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I did have sleep paralysis. I did not see anything like Brandon did.
Yeah.
But yeah, write that down so we talk about that. But when I had it, I was just laying in bed, normal. I was just watching videos, and I just put down my iPad, and I was just laying there, trying to rest a little bit, and then all of a sudden, I had the lights on, and I'm just laying there in bed, and I tried to move my arm, and I couldn't. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I can I can move my eyes, and I couldn't talk though. I can move my eyes and everything. I couldn't move my
You
head.
tried to talk.
Yeah, no, I didn't try and talk. Nobody was home. So I didn't really try and talk, but I knew I couldn't move my mouth. And I was just laying there. I couldn't move my head. All I could do was move my eyes and stuff. So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to move my arm. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I was telling my brain, I'm like, move arm. Trying to move my arm. And I couldn't do it. And all I could do was just move my eyes. And I was so scared. I was trapped in my body. I didn't see anything. And it happened. It was there for 10
Did you hear
minutes.
anything?
I didn't hear anything. It was
Did
Dead
you feel
silent.
anything else change? Let's just say, did you feel the atmosphere in your room change?
No, I will tell you this. It was scary. It was very scary. It was silent. It was so quiet.
Was it too quiet?
It was too quiet. I'll tell you that. I couldn't hear anything.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I could tell my ears were working because when you're sitting there and you can hear the atmosphere, but you can't hear anything else. I could not hear anything. I couldn't hear the
Kind of
cars
sounds
outside.
like a box television when it's on, when it
Yeah.
goes.
I couldn't hear the cars outside. I couldn't hear anything. I was just laying there and I just couldn't move my body. And I was scared. I was like, why can't I move my body? I was just looking around. I'm just opening my eyes and walking around. And then 10 minutes later, my arm moved and I got out of it and I went out. I started running around outside. I'm like, I can't do this. I started moving my body. It was crazy. But I will tell. I didn't see anything. But I did go. My entire house went completely quiet. It was crazy.
Wow.
Okay, now more and more since I've been talking about that and the sleep paralysis, I do think that something is trying to contact us.
Maybe it was. Well, he's taking a commercial break, but no, but yeah, it was very. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm not very convinced on it being maybe aliens, but maybe spirits or something like that. Or maybe it's just your brain taking a break. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But that's what sleeping is. Your brain shuts down. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's very scary.
Mysterious how the brain works.
It was very scary. I will tell you that.
Mhm.
I did not see anything like Brandon. I would be very scared if I saw something. But it was very scary just not being able to hear anything and you're just there.
You know what we should have asked Joe? Moving on from the sleep paralysis, about the Men in Black. Not the monster hunters or the alien hunters. Those You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
know what you're talking about.
The Men in Black.
The alien force, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Alien
every
attack force.
yeah, it's
Let's call it that.
yeah, or just beings who look like who have human structure but aren't human.
Yeah, no, I know. You know,
And
they could be studying us and finding ways to get into our society and, you know, take over without mass destruction. You know, what is Earth's most valuable resource?
Water.
Most valuable resource?
Water.
Yeah,
What is it?
I think so.
Humans.
That is true.
We are our planet's most natural resource. Where else can you go and find what's our
About 7.5 billion people.
Yeah, we have 7.5 billion people. Where else can you go and just find 7.5 billion eligible slave workers?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. They could be trying to use us for slave thing. You never know. Great, that can tie back to sleep paralysis. Maybe that's how they're tapping into our brains, you know, to see what we're, you know, how our brains work.
I've also heard about
That's a good theory right there, right?
Yeah.
They can turn our body off, right? So what if they're trying to learn to turn our body off, our mind to control our body, and then they can control our body to do what they want? It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, almost possession.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
possession.
Exactly. Like someone or something is just remotely controlling you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then when people get sleep paralysis, it's just a practice run for what's gonna happen. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. All right.
All right.
So that was a
So
good podcast. I liked having
includes- What is it? Episode 2,
episode
3?
three. That was episode 3. I did like having Joe on. We're gonna have him on again. Like I said, talking about guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that, then I have my dad's friend was a helicopter gunship pilot in Vietnam.
Oh
So
wow.
if you guys want to
Yeah.
bring him in, bring
Yep.
him on, I could probably arrange that.
Yeah.
He was to be technical, he was a Cobra gunship pilot.
Very cool.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and
Hit
tell
that bell icon.
Yeah. Tell your friends. And all right. Thank you guys. See you next episode.
Thanks.